Good day and good evening and welcome to Daily's Hangout stream with me, Chaiji, but you can just call me Kai. Tonight, more Black Mage, but this time the new one. We had a stream like this just before the changes arrived, and well, since then I've gotten a lot of people who was like, well, how do you like Black Mage? Do you like Black Mage? How are you feeling about the Black Mage now? And then I thought, maybe one way to address it is to just do a stream specifically just playing Black Mage for dailies. Which is what I would do normally anyway. It's also an interesting comparison. Now, with that said, hey Talibab, hey Alejandro, hey Lana, hey Rust, hey Nox, hey Zaf, hey Yafi, hey Naomi, hey Seros, hey Aradel, hey Agent Monica, hey Kosari, hey Ham, hey Sally, hey Ilya, hey Orion, hey Renegade, and hey Ark, and hey Gustavo. Hope you're all doing very well. And hey Kingdom Rush Zeth and Midi. Hope you're doing well as well. Renegade says I hated Black Mage and now I'm savage rating as it. Well, there you go. I liked Black Mage as it was before. But it was always like... The thing is, an interesting thing that has come up more that I've noticed is that before these changes, apparently it was... like, among the optimizers, it was apparently kind of a thing that you didn't really bring Black Mage for prog unless you had to. It was like... it was something that was so hard to optimize that, you know, that's something you do later. First, we play the jobs that can deal with a surprise. Then we figure out how to do it with a Black Mage. Now, Black Mage is flexible enough that it's perfectly safe to bring it to a fight you've never seen before. And it's reasonably manageable just in general. So I would say that that's a pretty big positive. Like, it's just funny because even the Black Mage players were like, well, I mean, it's only like a few masters who would bring it on day one for something. Which is exactly like... it's funny how, like, the job then, like, people get mad that the job is getting made a little simpler, while the majority of players are like, yeah, but it's too hard to play it. Under normal circumstances. So... it's possibly for the best. That doesn't mean that people can't dislike the changes. Like that was always on the table, right? But I like them. And I'm playing Black Mage and Savage. I didn't get a clear last week. We got to see Hardened Rage a few times, but we'll probably get it this week, hopefully. And then we'll see. But I did feel like I did well. I feel like if I'd played the old Black Mage in this raid tier, I would not have been performing nearly as well. Not even close to. Also, hey Vince and Raki, hope you're doing well. Like I said, since I joined in late Endwalk, I basically got to play 3 iterations of Black Mage in a fairly short amount of time without getting super attached to one way, and had fun with each one. Well, there you go. There you go. But it did exactly have that problem that because they were like... because Black Mage had this level of optimization where, like, it was almost the effect of, if you know what to do, you can do anything. If you know what to do. Like, the problem... like, imagine that you have, hypothetically, an infinite potential in mobility if you need it. It's a slight damage loss, but you have it if you need it, but you need to plan for it. Like, to switch to it if you need it. Otherwise, if you want to maximize damage, you have to really plan out your mobility. But you need to know when you need it to do it, which means that it is basically like incompatible with learning a fight initially. Like, you basically have to have the spreadsheet already, and then you can figure it out, and then you have to memorize that. Like, that's how it feels to, or how it felt to look at Black Mage before the changes. Now, in a way, Black Mage has enough random instant casts in its rotation that, yeah, there are times where it's rather inconvenient if there's suddenly movement, but that's what you have those sudden instants for. That's when you go, oh, well, then I guess I'm casting Xenoglossy here. For instance, that's a slight loss over using it during raid buffs, yada yada, but you know what I mean. But, yeah. Game plan is we're going through dailies. Bondi says I had more forced caster downtime on Summoner than Black Mage this tier. Well, the thing is, Bondi, you're worse at Summoner than you are Black Mage, and Black Mage was made easier. So there is a key thing to remember for all those Black Mage mains going, now it's easier than Summoner, is that Summoner isn't super complicated, but people exaggerate how easy it is. But if you never play it, and then your main, which was complicated, now is way less complicated, then it's very easy for you to play the used to be complicated, but you didn't play Summoner nearly as much. So Summoner will feel harder. The things you have to plan around on Summoner becomes a bigger problem. Like, that's something to consider. That's something that I've said many times, is that incidentally, near the end of Endwalker, Black Mages were more likely to choose Red Mage as the harder job, whereas Red Mages were more likely to choose Black Mage as the harder job, if asked. Were you not ranked 1 Summoner before the Summoner rework, Bondi? Before and after, I see. According to the way you've talked about Summoner, I am surprised you played it at all. Anyway, we're doing some dailies. And the game plan is we're mostly going down the list. We're not doing main scenario, we're not doing guild test, we're not doing mentor. We're probably not doing frontline either. Also, hey Emily, hope you're doing well. And Asymmetricon, I hope you're doing well as well. And hey Clove, hope you're doing well. But we're doing most of the dailies, and depending on what time it is, we might also go and do raid, like normal raid re-clears. I think I'll do frontline at a different time. It's just, like, frontline has nothing to do with the new Black Mage changes. Like, that's a different Black Mage entirely. Anyway, if you would like to join me for Expert Roulette, come on. Oh, okay. Come on over to me. Wow. I'm pretty sure those were the 3 that came over to me first. Hey, hi Max and Midichlorian. Hope you're doing well. And hey, Running Man. Hope you're doing well. After the Black Mage changes, that's very recent then. Or do you mean the Dawntrail changes? Ooh, you wear what? Cat is very pink today, that's true. How recent were the changes? Running Man, the changes came out like last week. Well, yes. No, the week before that. Whoops. Should probably have started with ice there. Oh well. your third week, you might be be mixing it up, because if you look around for the changes to Black Mage, you'll find that there was also a semi-rework of Black Mage at the start of Dawntrail, which is, you know, like 8 months ago. Hey Meanwells, hope you're doing well. Alright, Bundy, enjoy your evening. Do you think job mounts should still be exclusive to tanks or give it to other jobs as well? The idea of job mounts is nice for everyone, but I can see why they're exclusive to tanks. It's meant as an incentive to get more people to play tanks. Like, essentially. It's the same idea as you may also notice that that there's actually a mount for leveling Conjurer to 30. That's the Unicorn mount. Is awarded for just getting Conjurer to 30. In the same way, the reasoning for that, the logical reasoning, is motivate people to play White Mage. Motivate people to try a healer. Incidentally, only roles that have had trouble finding people to play them offer mounts for just trying them. For just trying them. Well, it's not like tanks just hand it to you at the door. In fact, there they realized that just getting people to try tanks isn't enough. Apparently, like, they recognize that, oh, we kind of need you to keep playing it, otherwise, you know, the queues are gonna stay looking. That's hard to say, Midichlorian. They made Despair instant 7.1, I believe. So, like, they actually gradually made all these changes, but arguably, I imagine a few years down the line, we will be looking at like Dawntrail as the expansion where Black Mage got gradually changed. Because it was like something happened in 7.0, stuff happened in 7.1, stuff happened in 7.2. Probably stuff will happen in 7.3. Hey Daniel, hope you're doing well. My stats? These stats? I have a lot of spell speed. Is that what you're looking for? I have less spell speed because I'm synced down. Hey Catfish Jr., hope you're doing well. Uh-oh. He still has a cast at low levels. That's true. Despair unlocks its its instant cast at level 100, which does mean that its cast being reduced to 2 seconds, just in general, does change some things. Hey Gleaming, hope you're doing well. I have spell speed because I'm sitting down. Well, I mean, that could be the case. It's really funny. You have to stand up to get your instant despair. Otherwise, it doesn't work. If you sit in your ley lines, you're closer to them, so you cast faster. Is that why Lalafels are so good at being Black Mage? They're closer to the ley line. My god. That's a good one, Aradel. They are actually instant casts. I'd even argue they might be OGCDs, depending on how you view it. Ugh. Imagine having to cast, am I right? Axis, how much do I have to donate for you to do one of these roulettes Scathe only? I don't think you want to I don't think you want that. Doesn't that sound terrible? Say Nozarel, hope you're doing well. For the bit. I guess I didn't use Umbral Soul enough. Hey Tachyon, hope you're doing well. When's the Scathe only M8S run though? That is rough. We actually, I think it was the last stream or something, at least a recent stream where we talked about this very briefly, where Scathe is so bad, so incredibly bad, that it's better to do basically what I'm doing right now. Just that. Repeatedly, like just back over to ice and then like Umbral Soul it up to get ready again, then actually use Scathe. Scathe is so bad that it's better to use Umbral Soul in your rotation. Exactly, I think so too, Ham. It might have been last Savage stream. Sounds terrible for you. Yeah, that too. Definitely that too. That is, I'm kind of surprised they never thought to make Scathe into a Xenoglossy downgrade. Yeah, actually. That is weird. Usually the one that I hear people suggest is why don't they just make Scathe upgrade into Xenoglossy? But the thing is, technically, Xenoglossy isn't a direct upgrade of Scathe. They're not the same. It's just that it's one of those we're not the same memes, except Xenoglossy is like completely superior in every way, except you can't spam it. And it doesn't cost anything. everything that upgrades into something else is typically an objective upgrade. I believe the one exception is actually Paradox. Weirdly paradoxical, that. Because Paradox is not a direct upgrade of Fire 1 or Blizzard 1, because it doesn't interact. Oh yeah, and Phlegma, that's true. Phlegma 1 to Phlegma 2 actually has an AoE damage drop-off. Which is to say, Phlegma 2 does less AoE damage than Phlegma 1. Oh boy. Hey Emily, hope you're doing well. I'm pretty sure he starts with the round and round and round AoEs, so it's better if I stand over here. Oh right, there's a stack marker after that. Hi guys. Hey Igor, hope you're doing well. Perfect. Oh, we had a tank LB there at the end. Just a moment. I don't know if Kingdom Rush Zeth is still here, but I feel like I stepped over when you also said thank you for me making my guides. Thank you for watching them. I very much appreciate getting that kind of feedback. And thank you as well, Poziomika, and I hope you're doing well. Yeah, that was a very nice clear, like exactly at the end got the flare star and everything. Hey Gazel, hope you're doing well. Let me just add this one so I don't forget it later. I'm guessing there's a team 2 inside of duty, is that right? Oh, you also got your Werewater. You just got out. Fantastic. Ranky says they still have trouble with accidentally stepping into the gunk on the second boss. A lot of people do. I've heard a lot of people being really mad about the second boss in that dungeon for some reason. I will say it's a little mean how specific it is about your positioning on it, but I'm also shocked how many that are just like, just run through the goop. You can survive it. Like, at least try. As long as you're trying, that's the best you can do, but, you know. Anyway, if you'd like to join me for level cap dungeons, come on over to me. Ooh, whoa, whoa. A lot of running around. That's true, Zaf. It's definitely better to step in the goop than take the hit, because the hit kills. Oh boy! Stray Burrow Dead Walk. Woohoo! Woohoo! Everyone's gonna be mad because of how ridiculous Stray Burrow Dead Walk always looks when I do it. Caprina drum solo inbound. That's amazing. Yeah, our relic grind stream went. Do you actually want to see that? I have a relic, I have relics in the works, but oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. It's not the most exciting thing, is it? Flare! Flare! Flare Star! Kaboom! A nice relaxing stream. Oh yeah, that's true. It's not going to be the most crazy thing that'll happen is going to be me screaming as I run across a zone trying to catch a fate or something. Like a named fate that I need. I land in Stray Burrow Dead Walk very frequently recently. Particularly frequently. Didn't I land in Stray Burrow Dead Walk in the April 1st Mentor stream? I'm pretty sure I did. I'm also pretty sure I landed in it in one of my more recent, not yet. Whoops, I skipped the despair there. No one saw that. No one saw that. Z damage loss. Womp, womp, womp. I was just so excited to mana font. Wow, he's already at 30. Whoa. Womp. Womp, womp, womp. At least my Astral Fire timer doesn't take out for this. Boom. Hey, DS Muslim Pal. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I basically got fully cornered. That's how they caught me, and I could still have made it. I was just stupid. That's the only reason I got caught, is because I was stupid and then stopped. Hey, Matoro. Hope you're doing well. It's fine. You can take the Kai has been benoggined counter. You can set it back to 0. It's fine. It's only been like a week, I think. Boom! Hey, Gomibako. Hope you're doing well. I've been liking the recent Black Mage changes. I love them. Like, personally, I enjoy the job way more now. And the thing is, I loved playing Black Mage before that, too. It's just that I wasn't good enough to bring it into actually challenging content. So the fact that I can now means that that's just what I'm doing. As I said at the end of the Savage stream last week, I was sad that it was already over because it meant that I'd had to wait a whole week before I could do Black Mage in really hard content again. Hey, Knight. Hope you're doing well. And in that case, the good news is that Black Mage now is approachable enough that I would say the thing that makes me the most like about like suggesting Black Mage to a new player is mostly the fact that transpose is significant enough of a thing on AoE that it feels like a disservice to say that you can do AoE without transpose. Like, once you get flare, like, I always say this in jest because it's funny memes, but it's almost to the point that, like, the whole memes of saying if you're not doing X, you're basically trolling, is the power difference between doing AoE with transpose and not transpose is so big that just spamming Fire 2 and Blizzard 2 and stuff like that, when you know better, quote-unquote, you're basically trolling. Big emphasis on the air quotes because, you know, there's probably a reason. And because of that, that would be the thing that would make me be like, I'm actually not sure if I would recommend it. But the thing is, you can play Black Mage without it. So in a way, it also means that the job has an incredible potential for, like, improvement. Like, you can pick the job up as it is and not do transpose lines and stuff. And then when you're ready for it, it's right there. Ready for you. Surely AoE will be fixed by 8.0. Yeah, like that sounds a lot more believable because let's not forget, just for a moment here, that transpose flare was something players discovered with the Media Tour. As in, players noticed the problem before Dawntrail released, and it hasn't been quote-unquote fixed yet, and it has only gotten better. It has only gotten better. Mainly because they've buffed Flare crazy hard. Like, when people discovered that Transpose Flare was so good, Flare had a 4-second cast time, then they made it a 3-second cast time, and now it's a 2-second cast time. Shockingly, it's better as a result. Everyone is flabbergasted that that would have that effect. I suppose that's true, Ark. That's also a concern that I raised before 7.2 came out, that I wouldn't be surprised if people felt like Fire 4 was a lot less powerful now that it has a much shorter cast time. That was an actual concern that I raised with my comparison point being, you imagine if Greatsword in Monster Hunter suddenly didn't have to charge up very much. Like, they just made it so they didn't have to charge up or anything anymore. That would also make it feel less impactful. Imagine if a Charge Blade in Monster Hunter... I'm just using Monster Hunter because I know a lot of my viewers also know Monster Hunter, so it's usually an understandable comparison. Imagine if Charge Blade didn't have to charge anything. They just could do SAEDs straight off rip. Again, it would have this effect of making it feel less significant, less impactful. Imagine if you could Wyvern fire with no cooldown and at high speed. Isn't that actually something that they kinda added in Wilds? I'm pretty sure you can double Wyvern fire or something like that. It does have a cooldown still, I believe, but they did make it a lot more convenient to use, or so I've heard. They gave it a second charge. Didn't they also make it so that you can use it like more like in rotation? Dual wielding gun lances, so you have twice as many Wyvern, but that's pretty funny. Shelling Reaper is the cooldown some? That does kinda make sense to make like the toolkit synergize with itself. No! I didn't get to use all of my silly foddy triple cast, but I did get my Flare Star. I did get my Flare Star. Okay. Jose Jojo, hope you're doing well. See, Polsiovika says, question, is Blue Mage powerful enough for Endwalker and Shadowbringer's Fate specifically to focus on leveling it up to do them with Blue Mage, or it's not big of a difference compared to other jobs? I'm pretty sure that if you're farming Fates, Blue Mage at level 80 is good for Shadowbringer's Fates. Just keep in mind, just so that I don't misunderstand, don't level Blue Mage with Fates. Its massive XP gain is not associated with Fates. Just making sure that I don't misunderstand that. But if it's just for farming Fates, Shadowbringer's Fate should be really quick with Blue Mage. Besides this, I don't think I've seen anyone use Gunlands, and again, I soloed most of my games, so... That reminds me of someone going... Is players cure botting in Final Fantasy XIV actually a thing? Like, is that actually something people do? On one of my shorts. And I explained to them, first of all, what it means, and how it does happen. surprisingly frequently, and their response was, oh, right, well, I basically only play healer in all content, so that probably explains why I haven't seen it. I'm like, yeah, it would. It probably would. Like, I haven't seen many Gunlands users, but I haven't seen many people. I haven't seen many users. Right? Boink, boink. I'm guessing we have a team 2 in again. And now it starts to get wacky, because now we get levels where Despair has a cast time. Oh, you got Tender Valley. They would double... Yeah, that would be a way to make sure you have something to do. Right, Ilana? I actually did Castrum Meridianum as White Mage yesterday. Oh, actually, better one. I also did Stone Vigil as White Mage yesterday. And on the second boss, both of the DPS were nearly dead. The tank was dying, and I was casting Stone because the boss was also dying. Through the entire duty, the tank had just been single pulling. But after that pull, one of the DPS concluded that I don't care what the tank thinks, I'm just gonna accidentally double pull for the rest, because the healer clearly knows what they're doing. And so we managed to do the 2 remaining AoE pulls, despite the tank not doing it. They didn't protest, they just picked up the mobs when they came, but we survived on account of me spamming Cure 2 and Presence of Mind coming off cooldown on time at one point. Stone Vigil is really something. Besides this, I do not pay attention to what the healers do either. For the most part, I don't either. It usually takes a lot for me to go, okay, what are they doing? Usually it requires that I'm the tank, and I notice that the healer's spam healing me. Or the healer's spamming Cure 1 a little too much when I'm a DPS. The final full pull of Stone Vigil might be the single most difficult pull to execute in the game. It is certainly up there. I have also shown off the biggest pull in Zemail Darkhold. That one is also pretty insane. Arguably, the biggest possible pull you can do in Aurum Vale is probably harder than that, but in fairness, Aurum Vale, unlike Zemail Darkhold and Stone Vigil, the biggest pull you can do in Aurum Vale is not necessary. Like, you have to pull a whole bunch of mobs that you don't need. Gustavo says, are you gonna stream Nintendo Switch too? No. I don't even have the things to stream a console. Like, I don't have the necessary equipment. I have a Switch 1. Yeah, exactly, you're going along your expert roulette, things are going fine, and then you notice the free cure buff in the White Mage. Dark Souls boss music starts playing. Thank you, Erdel. Exactly. Pointed at the TV. That is quite old school. Speaking of old school, if you want to join me for high-level dungeons, come on over to me. Well, I managed to grab 3 DPS, it looks like. Is anyone willing to go tank and healer, or do we need to do some readjustment? With 4 DPS, just kill stuff before it kills you. Ah, yes. The Gigabrain strat. It reminds me of ages ago when I did a Oops All Summoners stream, and we decided to try and do Expert Roulette with 4 summoners. We didn't make it. Caetsu was too strong. Cat got raid wives. Ooh, anti-tower. Are you ready? Are you ready for Fire 4? To test your reflexes. A test of your reflexes. By the way, a tip, just for this start. The dungeon will force you to get 1 pack at a time. It straight up forces you to do 1 pack at a time. Tank stance? Show me your vaunted fortitude. Have you the strength? The power to transcend. Dun 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 dun. Flare! Flare! Thunder! Hey Magitrek, hope you're doing well. That is something I get asked frequently, don't worry about it. And I actually started this stream with saying, well, I get asked that very frequently, so maybe this helps as a little bit of evidence of what I feel about it. I have never mained Black Mage in an expansion before. This time I'm bringing it in as my main for Savage. Because I like it so much. As I said on the recent Savage stream when we started on M5S, I did mention that I was so sad that it was already over because it meant that I didn't have... then I wouldn't be able to play really hard content as Black Mage for a whole week. So, me personally, I love the changes, Magitrek. I know there's some people that don't like them super much, and they're justified in not liking it, but I like it. Ah! Reload. No one saw that I accidentally triple weaved there. Whoops. Bum, 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 bum. Hey Luna, hope you're doing well. Oh, Sunny, the joke is it's called lamp shading. I point it out, then you can't point it out. Oh, that's the joke. I got counter whooshed. Oh no! I'll say free live. Hope you're doing well. Block counter whoosh. You activated my trap card! Counter whoosh! And yeah, our best try, Kasari, was 8.9% on M5S. We also had a really funny scenario where the log said on that best attempt that I had a 99 pass. It is a wipe, so like then the pass doesn't like it's usually not very accurate when it's a wipe, but it was still really funny. Yeah, we just need to stop failing the mechanics, and then we'll get there. Zarian, hope you're doing well. Triple weave is lifestyle. It's a choice. One day, Jojo, one day we will have our worldwide DC travel. Yeah. Hello. Thank you, Aerodel. That's correct. There was a Spriggan on top. Flare! Boom! Oh, whoops. I had the... I had a mana font that I could have used. Reload! Again! Bam! And wha-bam! No, that's actually pretty normal, Zarian. Something that you may not have noticed, especially if you used to play Dancer and then like picked it back up again in Dawntrail, is that they changed it so that Tilana just straight generates 50 Esprit gauge. So you have to like choose your spots on when you use it. Otherwise you'll overcap. But that is part of it, is to like plan out your burst so that you don't overcap during it. Ooh boy. Which is like the long story short of you just have to figure it out. Sometimes you get totally overwhelmed with Esprit. I think Aridel might be able to like speak more accurately on this topic, on account of Aridel being our dancer in the Savage Raid team. Hey Rob, get up. Hope you're doing well. You think adding more skills or actions to jobs is something they should keep doing, or what else can they do to enhance each job? Well, the thing is, they have already reached a point where there's just not space for any more. Like, there isn't really space for any more buttons for most jobs without it getting really, really awkward. And given how they're actively avoiding adding more, as you can probably recognize on most jobs, they're probably not going to add more. What they can do is get rid of or combine together buttons that don't matter as much. They can add more value to the buttons that are already there. That's a cone. That is one of the weirdest markers. A question for the chat. How would you make a marker for that? Did you see what it was? It was a gaze marker on Rust. What it meant was the boss will shoot a cone AoE on this person, which they have to look away. Specifically. How would you make that marker? How would you represent it? Tether with eye on boss? That is actually a good idea, Sipov. That's actually a really good idea. Thank you. Yeah, I thought the same, Orion. Ryan said in game, I thought we had to look away from the targeted person. But yeah, what they could do is make buttons feel like stack more value on buttons, make individual buttons do more stuff, remove buttons that don't have as much meaning. Like for instance, a suggestion that some players have come up with for Black Mage. It wouldn't remove that much, but if they made it so that in some way it made sense for Fire 1 and Blizzard 1 to naturally upgrade into Blizzard 4 and Fire 4, in the same way that Paradox isn't a direct upgrade of Blizzard 1 and Fire 1, Blizzard 4 and Fire 4 are also not direct upgrades. So it doesn't quite make sense now, but if they adjusted them a bit, maybe it would make sense. And if they did that, then like they could make it so that they just naturally upgrade, and then at level 90 they give you a new button, which would be Paradox. That would mean you have one less button. That's not much, but it's one less button. Yeah, exactly, Raki. Usually when there's a gaze marker on a player, it means don't look at the player. What is that dungeon? It's Anti-Tower. But yeah, my opinion on it is it would probably make more sense to be more efficient with buttons than just keep adding more. Case in point, I'm not like... Let me take an example real quick. Let me just do an example real quick. In Shadow, in Endwalker, if we just for a second ignore the part where Paladin got reworked, because this comparison still applies without that taken into consideration. In Endwalker, they got they got an upgrade to Confiteor that makes it turn into the Blades combo. They got Holy Sheltron, which is just an upgrade of Sheltron. They got Expiation, which is just an upgrade of Spirits Within. And then they got a heal added to Divine Veil. And they got a heal added to their attack spells. They got 0 new buttons. They just got new attacks added to buttons that were already there. In Dawntrail, they got Guardian, which is just an upgrade to Sentinel. They got, well, they also got an upgrade to Atonement. They just changed some things there. They got an upgrade to Rampart. All tanks got that. They got Imperator, which just is an upgrade of Requiescat. They got Enhanced Reprisal. And then they got Blade of Honor, which, again, it's just a button in a button. It doesn't, like, it doesn't really add much, and more importantly, it adds a little extra thing to their burst, but their filler is the same. And I know that's maybe a little bit weird of a focus, but I'm just saying we spent more time doing filler rotation than we do burst. Wouldn't it make more sense for jobs to get stuff added to their filler? More? It's just a thought. That is the reason why I think despite everything, Black Mage was a pretty big winner in Dawntrail, because they got a filler button. They got a new filler button, technically. Hey, Space Queen, hope you're doing well. Right. If you would like to join me for leveling roulette, come on over to me. But if you do so, filler would be interesting. Oh no! Oh no! Anything but that. Now it starts to get confusing in my notes because we have repeats. Filler button Black Mage getting their beach, their anime beach episode. Yeah, every time they finish an Astral Fire state, they switch to their swimsuit. The thing is, Free Live, those kinds of dungeons, I don't know how to put it. Great Cabal Library is another one of those. Like, the best way I can put it is like Charlie and stuff. Like, it's a certain sort of mix, but that mix is total anarchy. Like, it's a specific theme, but that theme is nonsense. And that's true, Bondi, and that's actually also weird. Skydeep Shinote. I haven't done that in a long time. What do I not have? I don't have Flare Star, and I don't have... I only have 2 Polyglot slots, right, and I don't have Enhanced Addle. Well... Oh, we can do 1 pack at a time, Gassel. Is that what you want to do? These 2 first packs do kind of hurt. They do, but I've never been intimidated by them enough to do them 1 pack at a time. I'm pretty sure I solo gigapulled this when I soloed the dungeon as a warrior, but that's of course warrior, right? Gazel sometimes also has trouble with lag, so that could also, you know, have an impact to make it a little scarier. To pull really big. Yeah, this is in game. Nox said they would let me die, so I'm scared. Oh. Well, just go for it. You'll know if they meant it if you actually die. I mean, it's all the same to me. Same AoE rotation. Although, on really low targets, we can also use Paradox as a filler, which is nice. Ah, it's casting immersion, finally. Finally we can get immersed in the story, everyone. Finally. If you weren't already, that is. This is a funny boss, because due to its gimmick primarily being that other players annoy each other, it's almost easier if you're alone. Whoops, I was supposed to use a Paradox there. Rips. So many full stacks, so much damage to heal. This dungeon is one of those that is also more punishing on your first time around, I would say. Hey Agony, hope you're doing well. Damn, Agony. Thank you. Crap. Wavalago. Why should he be there with us? Hey Marcus, are we doing well? Yes, how do you transpose so smoothly? The big part of it is probably that I make sure that I have instant casts for it. Which is, like, that is also something you have to plan. It's also not always smooth. In particular, I ran into trouble on AoE in ley lines, especially, that I finish my 2 ice casts way too quickly. Yeah, I understand that, Jojo. I could imagine that all the players that were already playing the job would be the ones most concerned, because obviously it means that they're losing the thing they're actively using. Uh-oh. I invoke! I have put down my ley lines! As my excuse for staying. And I agree, Jojo. I feel like despite all the things that made it easier, there are still things making Black Mage challenging. It's just that, as you said also, it's challenging in a different way. And admittedly, it's... Oh, right, there's not a second pack here. There's only one pack here. That's true. That is true. That is correct. There's just the one pack. I invoke you the fizz ranged. I always forget that in this dungeon. That there is that weird part here. But there's just one pack and a really, really, really long hallway. You're taking bets on the amount of deaths for the last boss? Go ahead. $20 kill on 0. Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking, Agent Monica. That I found it a little bit unlikely that we would have a lot of deaths. I might have used Surecast too soon. Nope. Hey Cody! Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I have a similar feeling actually. Of it being a little hard to play anything else because I want to play some more Black Mage. Mall work. Little gap found, yep. Yoink. And that's true, Ryan. That is a classic. Especially with a boss where like you can die to one little mistake at just the wrong time. Right. Let's see. If you would like to join me for Trials Roulette, come on over to me. I'm just seeing how many wants to join before I start booting people. Let's see. Assuming it's just the people around me, then we're 9. If there's one of the people that were just... Oh, well. that answers that. Thank you, Gazel. Sorry. Thank you. The Gazel ran over to the bench. Nox asked me to replace them with you, Gazel. Bring the culinarian. Level 50. Hey JK, hope you're doing well. Go ahead with a gearing question. I might be able to answer it. There's even the small possibility that it was covered in my recent gearing guide. My brain saw Ultimate Titan there. Saw where he jumped, where he was looking when he jumped, and thought, I need to go away in that specific... I'm doing it again. Why am I doing that? That is normally not a problem. What? Fire, fire! Fire, fire! Boom. Oh boy. Ow. I missed a small optimization opportunity. I think. I missed a small optimization opportunity. Now I'm gonna starve. JK, this is a max level sprout. Everything I do is synced down. I only have access to crafted gear, but when I was making the ceremonial gear, I noticed some pieces don't have the most ideal stats, like piety. But the same Archeo gear would have crit and direct hit. If everything I do syncs, would it just be better to keep the crit Archeo gear over ceremonial? It depends on how far down you sync. For instance, I think I covered this in my mentor carrier set video, where I think I said something to the effect of if the max level content you're doing is level 90, then any, like most level 100 gears should be maxed out. But the concern is that, can I show this off? Do I have any level 90 gear to demonstrate this with on me? I have level 80 gear, I suppose. Like, if you're looking at this, this is the most stats a level 80 weapon will have, right? So you can see the crit stat is 135. That's the one you're looking at. If you're choosing to bring a weapon, hypothetically a weapon that had 130 crit, for instance, and then like some others, like one of the stats is like, I don't know, 200, and then one of them is 130. Then the 130 would only be 130, whereas the other stat would go down to 135. So you're losing out on some potential stats. Overall, it hardly matters, but that's the kind of thing you're looking for. But yeah, if the max you're doing is level 90, then Archeo gear is probably fine. Where was the second landslide? Where was the knockback? Yeah, I know, right? Where are the things? Let's see. Right. Normal raids. If you'd like to join me for normal raids, come on over to me. I'm just double checking that everyone in the group actually still wants to be in the group, and if there's anyone else that wants to join in. Why didn't the tank die to Mountain Buster? My Titan pass is over. Yeah, sure, JK. The main idea is that if it's synced down far enough that like all the stats are maxed out anyway, then you can do whatever you want. But as you get closer to level 100 content, it might matter a bit more. It's Hierarch. Display names, general. Boom. What it... I was just about to ask our Culinarian what they were gonna play. Fantastic. Yeah, look, Shaq's here. I'm guessing that we get Danger Noodle 01. Hope you're doing well, Jack. Oh. Brute Justice. It's basically the same thing, right? Danger Noodle, Brute Justice. My nemesis. No, it's fine, Nox. I sidestepped it. Really? I feel like I'm being hunted. Hey Bits, hope you're doing well. Space Queen, what item level does Smileton sync to? Isn't it 600 flat? In that case, yeah, that sounds right, Space Queen. That is exactly what I meant. That the cap would then be 266 sounds about right. Say hi, Zaniel. Hope you're doing well. Never understood the mech with the raised and lowered floors in this one. Basically, you look at your debuff and it'll say whether you're scared of heights or not. And then you just do the opposite. It's really weird, but that's basically how it's done. Cap! Never mind. Bondi says red up because heat rises. Oh, nice. Can And you want to put jelly down on your toast, so purple down. That is a hilarious way to remember it, Bundy. I love that, especially because there's a food reference there. Also, I think I'm forgot earlier, but I hope you're doing well as well, Lollipop Pizza. Red up because the upper platforms are red. Ah, also, hey Bits, hope you're doing well as well. Yes, next would be Alliance Raids, so if you would like to join me for Alliance Raids, come on over to me. See how many wants to come. We have 2 more. Anyone that has just been on the ride a few times mind letting Ilya and Kat come along? And one last one. That works. Thank you, everyone. Like what Peter says, I'm gonna remember the jelly now. Yeah, exactly! Exactly! That's also why I use silly references and memes, like silly food references when I talk about mechanics, because it's silly and funny, so you remember that. Hopefully. I see the Uldan soldiers here. That's Marcus, right? Hope for Ivalice. I'm wondering what alliance raids Ilya has, because that's an alt. It doesn't matter. I'm imagining it's going to be Crystal Tower. But that's just how it goes. The nonsensical burger callouts for Oryx and Destiny. They were all ingredients, but they didn't actually have any reason any callout was one ingredient or another. Well, I mean, as the thing is that if it works, it works. Genuinely, when we were progging on EX4, the positions for EF2, I'm gonna be a little bit vague in case there's anyone like that wants to blind prog or something and don't want to get jumped by mechanics. For EF2, where we have rather specific positions, the raid callout was something to the effect of "the stage is set" or "get to your positions," like basically a theater reference. It has nothing to do with theater, but that was what we landed on, and everyone knew what it meant. Flashback to Goldbeck's ones, yeah, also that. Sandwiches and bagels. Ultimately, what matters is what the callout, like what callout does it take to get it. That's all that's required. Does everyone... What? Huh. Goldbeck should have said no more games. You know what? You know, it's actually a missed opportunity. They realized at some point that they should have used "no more games" anymore, and now they're trying to like recover it. So they have a new extreme where the boss says "no more games," and the previous Unreal there was a boss that said "no more games." Incidentally, they also have a boss that it has dance mechanics, and the new Unreal has dance, like, well, new Unreal, the current Unreal has dance mechanics. Every voice boss needs a no more games line. You know, the funniest thing is that normally I'd expect something like that, and then the boss stuns everyone and then monologues for 2 minutes. That's how I've learned that works. That the boss goes, enough! And then you get stunned. And you're sitting there like, why didn't you just lead with that? And why didn't you just do that and then killed us? But no, they just stun and then like monologue. No quarter? I feel like no quarter is like, it's like almost like theme specific. Everyone is having a hard time with M6s because they don't have culinary comparisons yet. Gandhi says the announcer on M5 sings Dancing Queen briefly in the French VO. Fantastic. Claiming this down for the count is such a weird mechanic because it's like, here's a cutscene, your cooldowns are still ticking. Yeah. Enough! It's time for the villain plan explanation. Imagine new boss. It looks like a scientist. We go in, and the boss just starts fighting us. And when you start the fight, you don't have hats on for some reason. And then like 20 seconds in, like just as your burst is like wrapping up, all your hats appear. And the boss suddenly goes. Like, the boss first reacts by going, huh? Eosians? And then the hats appear, and it's like, the Warriors of Light! And then, like, a trap springs, and then there's a cutscene. Like a 2-minute monologue where the boss explains their innator invention that they're going to use to spread destruction. And the boss is called Doofenshmirtz. That was a really difficult one, and it didn't even land that well. But wouldn't it be funny if my point was, imagine if a boss let you have your opening burst and then down for the count for 2 minutes. Hey Mandalore, hope you're doing well. A warrior? Yeah, exactly, Alex. A warrior? The Warrior of Light! Helia had it too. Everything begins 10,000 years ago. Isn't that just an ultimate? You make a good point. Isn't that basically how FRU opens? Also, Circus Tower. Circus Tower time. A warrior? The Warrior of Light! Puts on fedora. No ley lines. No ley lines. No ley lines. You know what the wackiest optimization you can do on Black Mage at level 50 is? The weirdest optimization that I found? I'll say, JF, hope you're doing well. The weirdest optimization that I randomly found when people started talking about like finishing Astral Fire with Flare is that technically, if you finish your Astral Fire state with Fire 1 and you don't get a Fire Starter, then it's actually significantly worse than if you finish with Flare. If you finish with Fire 1 and you get a Fire Starter, that is the best way to end it. Like, that is the optimal ending sequence. And even better if after Fire Starter you do Transpose Swift Cast Blizzard 3. Like, that is maximum value. But, and this is the wacky optimization option. If you get a Firestarter proc 1 GCD before your last cast, as in you have 1 more cast left, then there's a slightly more choice, because you could just spend the Firestarter right then and then you go Fire 1 and hope you get another one so you can go Transpose Swift Cast Blizzard 3. But if you already have the Firestarter proc, then the second best and also more reliable way to finish, because there's no RNG involved anymore at that point, is to just flare immediately and then spend the Firestarter proc you already have so you can Transpose Swift Cast Blizzard 3. Yes, I've been down a little bit deep into the low-level Black Mage optimization. I've also looked into it, and it seems like AF1 F3P is just not worth it. How long does Firestarter last? It no longer has a duration. Assuming you don't leave the duty, it lasts until you use it. So like this, to be specific. Giga optimization. There's still a Let's Go Gambling part to low-level Black Mage? Yeah, of course, you still have Firestarter. But the funny thing is, if you get that Firestarter proc 1 cast early, then the potential power gain, I just lost the opportunity there. And there. The potential power gain of greeting on the RNG is basically equal to the potential is worse than the potential loss is if you don't get lucky. It's really, really wacky. They also made Thunderhead infinite, Space Queen. AF1 F3P, which is the wacky carry over Firestarter to start your next Astral Fire move, is an extremely small damage loss over just yeeting the Astral Fire, the Firestarter when you get it. And the reason, it actually makes sense when you think about it. Before you get Fire 4, an Astral Fire 3, Fire 3 with Firestarter is the best spell you have. Like, it's actually the best spell you have. So why would you, like, half cook it? Like, the benefit of AF1 F3P is that you're using less time casting Fire 3. You're essentially turning a 70% Fire 3 and a 180% Fire 3 into one 140% Fire 3, which is the equivalent of two 125% Fire 3s. But as a matter of fact, two 125% Fire 3s is better than, like, casting Fire 1. So you'd rather spend your time casting those Fire 3s. So it's not... It's an extremely small difference. It's an extremely small difference. But it is better to just yeet the Fire Starter when you get it. Before you get Fire 4. Because of that. And it does take a lot of calculating, because it's like, you can't just compare the potencies, because it's like, you also have to, like, regain the MP, blah 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 blah. Like, it gets really, really complicated. Also, that as a Metricon, even if you could do AF1 F3P, like, it has to, like, perfectly line up such that you can, that happens to be the time that you're going to reapply Thunder. It's actually more likely that you can do the Blizzard, like the Swift-casted Blizzard 3 trick that I also show in my guide, than it is that you can do an AF1 F3P, because you can use the Fire Starter to engage the Blizzard Swift cast. And you can also use a reapplication of Thunder to do it. But yeah, long story short, Black Mage optimization is weird. Ow. Especially at lower level. Skull says, random question, do you think we get a Hildebrand series ultimate someday? I think it would be really funny. It would be hilarious. My guess is no, but it would be really funny if I was wrong about that. Also, I hope you're doing well, Skull. And hey for Poof, hope you're doing well. Marcus says Thunder Freeze is still quite defined. Thank you. It's so silly. Return to freeze. The day we get to... No, Marcus. That ultimate is going to be the day we fight Godbird. I don't have a Swift cast, so I guess I'll just do that. Pew! 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 It's always awkward. When you just get no fire starter procs, you're just like... Meh. Exactly, Space Queen. It's a lot easier to do that now, at least. It was always an option. Now, whether it was actually doable was like up to the individual, whether they were fast enough. But now, with the shorter cast time, it's a lot more manageable. It's a really random, like, quality of life detail. Good luck, Ceres! Ah! Why me? Nice. Yeah, that is also, speaking of interesting things that has come to the table for Black Mage with the changes, is that I'm just saying you can with some, you know, not perfect precision, but you can actually do transpose lines at level 35. There is a viable, accessible transpose line at level 35. Which is, finish your Astral Fire state as you happen to have to reapply Thunder anyways. So you go, you know, Fire 1, Fire 1, Fire 1, Fire 1, Fire 1. Thunder, Transpose, Swiftcast, Blizzard 3, Blizzard 1, and then Fire 3. And you continue. That is technically the first available non-standard shenanigans you can do. That was technically available before too, it's just that I don't think people focused nearly as much on that because of all the other things of the job. You needed to hold that swift cast in case you needed it for movement or something, right? Less of a problem now. And also, with the roulettes done, I think what we're doing next is weekly reclears. But actually, before I get too caught up in that, I just need to visit Solution 9 for a moment. I'll come back. But I just need to check what the tokens I need. I'm trying to put together a crit tenacity tank build because I'm not a tank main, so I can do something a little funny. Don't worry, Lana, I'm coming back. Father has left us. Hmm. 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 Maybe just go for the items with tenacity on it because it's really funny. I already have the paints, Gazel. See, shoes, necklace. Hmm. And a ring, I guess. So 2 accessory and then shoes. I believe, is it the last boss that doesn't drop shoes? Or is it the third boss that doesn't drop shoes? Right. So, if you want to join for weekly clears of the current normal raid, come on over to me. I'm assuming Naomi also wants to join for that. Let's see, we have 7. Do we have an 8th that want to come? I'll try and invite an elf. Maybe they want to come. Fantastic. That's true, Gazel, but it's better than nothing. I believe... I'm pretty sure all the bosses have a reason for 2 tanks. So I think we need 2 tanks. Thank you, Agent Monaco. Enjoy your evening. You know, actually, Space Queen, it's even funnier now because due to the shorter cast time of Fire 1, there's an even higher chance if you if you miss it for a second, there's an even higher chance that you'll start casting Fire 1 and then realize your mistake and then try to cancel it. Not that you should. But Fire 1 is already locked in and the slide cast has already started. It's dance time! Are we having like a standoff between the tanks?
Are you ready to get down?
Get down.
The Upstarts Cruiserweight campaign begins. up with the rhythm? We're just getting started. Keep grooving, baby.
Dancing Green is pulling out all the stops with these steps.
On the dance floor, everyone's a star.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Bask in the spotlight and burn, baby, burn!
An invitation to dance. How will the challenger respond?
Whoops. I still had triple cast. I didn't need to do that. Is that night? Hope you're doing well. Black Mage more like instant mage. Just add water. Actually, add fire. That's probably a better idea.
Amazing! They clearly anticipated that attack.
Oh, my thunder ran out. When did that happen?
You're up, dancers! Let's turn up the heat. Try to keep up now.
The fever's taken hold. Can the upstart keep up with Dancing Green?
Dance like there's no tomorrow. Let's finish with style.
Oh yeah, that's true. There is apparently a little interrupt there where you have to do a pose. That's not there on Savage.
Back to it, dancers.
Ugh. Yeah, literal pose.
Show us some electrifying moves.
It also takes wait, it takes away your death rattle because you did something else? That's mean.
The challenger's down!
No! Elf! Ow. Hey, Hiron. Hope you're doing well.
Bask in the spotlight and burn, baby, burn.
That is also really rough. Don't worry, Aerodel.
They're back on their feet. Let's see if they can stay standing.
It only gets more confusing once you've already been down for a second, then you get out of the rhythm.
Dancers, take it away! Yeah, baby! I feel the fever coming on again!
The Knights reached a fever pitch. All eyes are on Dancing Green.
Dance like there's no tomorrow! Let's finish with style!
Wow!
It's all over. Until next time.
Let's see, Hiron says, I pentamill the tenacity on my crafted tank gear because I'm cheap, though my normal meld slots are still crit direct hit determination. That sounds reasonable. I've also heard that M6S does so much damage that it's not entirely unreasonable for a tank to want a little bit of tenacity there. So maybe it's fine? Exactly, Copper Sulfate. The Yans. I think that's the first time I did M5N without making any mistakes. How's hey, Vivi? Hope you're doing well. Same to you, Copper Sulfate. But yeah, also, if you, like, let me just put it like this, Hiron. If you were not going to pentameld with, you know, crit-directed determination because it's too expensive, arguably, pentamelding some tenacity is better because it's better than nothing, and it's actually not that much worse than the best options. So
what inspiration will you give me, I wonder?
currently quote-unquote enjoying 6SL. Well then, baby. That's an interesting way to put it. Enjoying. Are you not having fun? Trying to find a thing that rhymes with orange?
So draw this.
And with a flourish, Sugar Riot brings her work to life.
For life. For life. It's bombs with wings! Whee! They had some Red Bull, I guess. Encourage? And that's a good one. The joke is, Marcus, that if you pay really, really close attention to the background music, there's a whole thing really early in the song where they're like they're talking about colors, and then they reach orange, and then there's like 4 lines where they're like, I can't come up with anything that rhymes with orange, so I'll just not talk about orange. Like if you listen to the song, you'll also like you don't even need to know what they're talking about. You'll just notice that they're like blah 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 orange, blah 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 orange, blah 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 orange, blah 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 orange. And you're like, what's going on here with the orange? I noticed because in week 1 I had to do this fight like 6 times to get the token that I wanted.
Image comes to me.
I was like, what's going on with the orange?
Hot and sandy.
It's so funny. Thank you, Copper Sulfate.
Goodness, the ring has become a desert.
How about a little more sunshine? When I think desert, I think of these prickly fellows.
When I think of desert, I think of cake. But you do you, Sugar Riot. I guess we're like we have a disagreement of an S.
Watch out! It's a veritable storm of needles.
There's something missing. Oh, I know.
Oh, right.
Quicksand? Oh, you don't want to get caught in that.
What? How even? Surprising.
What's your favorite color?
What's your favorite color? And then she splashes you with orange. Nope, actually not orange. It was red and blue this time. I feel like every time I've seen it, it was just both blobs were orange. And I was like, weird. Maybe I've just seen it wrong all this time.
What do you think of this?
Yeah. Didn't make it.
Amazing! They clearly anticipated that attack.
Wow, madam. That's cold. That's cold.
They're back on their feet. Let's see
Like as Nox just gets.
What do you say to a refreshing
They clearly anticipated that attack. Well, some of us did, maybe. Wow.
a crystal clear river. How charming.
Is orange your favorite color? You won't get it. Oh.
This is no good. It needs a touch of thunder, a dash of downpour.
A thunderstorm has turned the waters muddy. How frightening.
I could have weaved that.
Some destruction to facilitate deconstruction.
I could also probably have weaved that better. Oh well.
A massive raging storm. I hate your parasols.
What? Double kill. How? Were you in range of that? How were you in range of that? Sweets down.
challenger rises again! Can they turn this around? What power! Looks like someone isn't holding back.
When you can't decide on one thing.
When you can't decide on one thing.
What do you think of this?
Explosive.
Effortlessly dodged.
Waboom! We'll be doing front lines after the reclears. You know what? If we've done that quickly, then probably. Oh! What's your favorite color? Splat. You just take a tank buster stacked with no mitigation. I guess the real problem there is that there's two of them. That's the real problem. Because the DPS might not like it. Hi Iron, hope you're doing well. It's been a bit, hasn't it? Now we got to orange. Gotta rhyme something with orange. See that nothing rhymes with orange. Thinking I'll just work without orange. Meanwhile, Marcus just kicking in the door. Encourage. Encourage. Does that rhyme with orange? Was that a slant rhyme? It's really close, isn't it? Gleaming says, whenever orange rhyming comes up, I think of the episode of Drake and Josh, where Drake spends a whole episode thinking and comes up with door hinge. That's actually that's pretty good. Enjoy your evening as well, Rust. I think of Once Upon a Witchlight episode where Torbeck completely flounders a rhyming contest. And I believe his rhyme starts with Torbeck's favorite color is orange. And then he has nothing to work with that. For those that have no idea what that is, it's Legends of Evantris, and Torbeck is a bugbear. Yeah, Torbeck is great. How's AZTDK? Hope you're doing well. Nox? Like, are you bartering over those gloves? I am ZTDK. Thank you. You are bartering over them. You already know. Fantastic.
To take it outside, the brute abominator means business.
He took it outside.
Will the unenhanced warrior be able to contend with this chimerical foe?
Where is the
He's
typo?
used his fetal powers to manifest a weapon.
Whoops, I should not have done that.
Oh no, that was too
It's fine, I didn't want that blast die anyway. I prioritized getting out of the way with an instant.
They're back on their feet. Let's see if they can stay standing.
Any tips for the twin weapons mechanic? The first weapon glows
Fiendish form
first.
has sprouted from the scattered seeds.
When you go to the second platform, they forgot the second B, so they call him the Abominator. Oh.
Oh my, even the cameras have been petrified, and now they're crashing down all around.
Yeah.
Oh, a brutal blow, but the contender is standing firm.
Whee!
Oh, he should just rival flying. What fearsome strength. Goodness me, the brute abominator is hanging on the building.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I will also say that it almost sounds like he's saying the Brute Abominator. So maybe they actually just wrote exactly what he said. Like, yeah, he said it wrong. Hey, Eva. Hope you're doing well. And I guess that's fine. I guess?
He's bounding from wall to wall.
How likely do you think Medem is to be the president? I don't think so. But it is, of course, a possible twist. I find that very unlikely. It's a twin Tenet.
The rooftop has caved in! Such devastation! We'll send cameras in there at once. The destruction appears to have started a fire.
It's really hard to see, I will say that.
Aladdin, the brute bomber must still be in there somewhere.
But that's a donut.
A punishing attack! Or the true power of this monstrous fusion.
I forgot that he moved.
What a thrilling battle this! And it rages on!
Oh well, that's a circle, so.
What power! Looks like someone isn't holding back. It's all over. Until next time.
Marcus, as I theorize that Medem is a simulacrum, but he really is the boss? Oh, that is also a possibility. And you know, that is also a good point. Maybe... So the thing that makes me think that it wouldn't be Medem is that I imagine that the Brute Bomber would be too blunt to be able to not accidentally let it slip that actually that's the boss. But maybe he doesn't know that. Like, maybe Medem communicates with Brute Bomber as the boss behind, like in a way where Brute Bomber doesn't know that. And Medem being like this heroic announcer who's helping the heroes and all that. Is part of the script, right? Like, I could see that. Brute Bomber actually proved that he's a capable actor. That's true. That is a good point. And the bluntness is the act. That is also a good point. On these, if Brute Bomber comes back like the Undertaker for 11 and after 12 we found out it was all a show we weren't in on, I will retract every negative thing I've ever said about CPU 3. That would be an incredibly funny surprise, at least. I'm just saying it would be hilarious if Brute Bomber is also M11.
Let's begin, shall
Just
we?
straight up, that would be really, really funny.
Can the challenger defeat the wolf in his own lair?
Make it dark, have the boss man give someone his feral soul. Wow, that would be an incredible twist.
Such speed, it's as if there's a pack of him.
He became the feral soul himself.
Oh no! They couldn't avoid that one. A stylish evasion, well done.
Oh, just to be clear, Eva, I'm just saying I would think it would be really funny if there was like a rematch with the Brute Bomber in some way. Not necessarily that he was alive. And given that it is Final Fantasy XIV, it's perfectly possible to have a rematch with him and also he's dead.
Can you fend off a pack of wolves?
Bruh. Right in my triple cast? You're lucky that I didn't need any more of that triple cast for my Blizzard cast, otherwise I would have been furious.
The earth is mine to command. Not bad, not bad, but we've scarcely begun. Bear my biting wings! Still you stand. How delightful!
My fire's reply, Nox says. Yeah. What?
Fenrir's power can be wielded in surprising ways.
Oh, where did that colossal thing come from?
He's put the Colossus to the sword.
Ow. It was bound to happen eventually. I have a really, really hard time with that mechanic. Hey, Red Master. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, bonk. Just a whole pillar of rock just splats on my face. I'm like, ah. Whew. Anyway, Fire 4, I guess. Ow.
You're mine. A pack of wolves. Try this!
Hey, gamer! Hope you're doing well.
Is this the end?
I am.
The challenger rises again! Can they turn this around?
Oof.
It's all over. Until next time.
Unleashed. It's good to hear, gamer, and I hope it goes well. We're definitely not the most destructive thing out there, but we are resilient. Yeah, exactly. We're very tanky, somehow. Next day, you know, my neck is a touch stiff. Slept wrong. Yep. Yeah, that's the problem. Jojo says it was more slash through his body now. I'm pretty sure that it was like cut to black and then a slash through that. And as in conclusion, I'm pretty sure that M5 to 8N can easily be solo tanked. The thing that I am wondering about is M5 and M6 has targeted tank busters, right? So if you only have one tank, then someone is getting smacked in addition to the tank. Paladin cover? Oh, that could maybe work. We can solo live that M6 tank buster with a DPS? I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've not taken it. But yeah, that's true. You could also just cover it. Yeah, in that case, I guess we could finish with frontline. What's the frontline today? Seal Rock. Oh. Oh. Seal Rock. Oh. Right, in that case, if you want to come along for frontline, come on over to me. You can see how many we're bringing. Yeah, we're going to make multiple 4-man parties. But the question is how many we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please don't run around too much. Let's see, 3, 6. Do we have 8 in total? That does look to be the case. Whoops. Nope, we're 9. I think we're 9. We're exactly 9, I think. So we should make 3 3-man parties. Oh, that works. But we could also make 3 3-man parties. Looks like we're making 3 3-man parties, maybe. Anyone in my team that wants to be part of the 3-man party? Fantastic. Let me know when both parties have done a ready check and is ready to go. Right, in that case, I will queue at 4:15 on Eorzea time. So there's a little bit. I'm terrible at Black Mage in PvP, though. Each party, that would be really funny. Preferably everyone on the same team or everyone on 3 different teams. In my opinion. Any advice on Black Mage in frontline? Nope. I don't know. Wraith of Ice is underrated? Might even in the same match, are we not? Oh. Well, we tried. Well, we have 2 of the teams. It's both over and underrated. You know, that sounds right. The ones that knows its power possibly overrates it. And the ones that don't know it severely underrates it. Oh, here comes yellow. Funny comet. Funny comet cast. Oh. The ninja finish. That is a good point, Ham. Just weave mount after something else? Huh, I never considered that before. Mount weaving. Free battle high. Do we just hang out here? Where was the white mage that just hit me? Oh, there. Probably. This is a little spooky. Because yellow's pincering us. Wasn't it the bard? Well, it was an Afflatus Misery, Ilana, and I'm pretty sure bards don't have that, so... It's difficult when there's that many. I couldn't even remember that north was my starting point. We'd been away for so long, just hanging out in the caves. In the caves. Hey Jose, hope you're doing well. It's the actual live stream that is showing. The live stream chat. It's just that if you're in the past, it won't line up. So if it doesn't match, then it's because you are in the past. The big old run away with the debuff. So the samurai goes, wait, I can't, it doesn't work. I can't click. Because my target is too far away. Hmm. Kaboom! Whoa. Wow! I just got instantly killed from full, I think. Yep, that did 55,000 damage. Well then. I think blue's gonna win. We're too busy fighting and we can't really peel away now. So they can basically win by doing nothing. They just have to do nothing. And we're so close. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, thank you for the tips, Ham. There were some things that I hadn't considered that really helped a lot. Notably the paradox loop for AoE. That is pretty smart. I hadn't actually considered that. Partly because the fact that you kind of have to stop for a second to cast fire means that I often just end up in a loop where I just spam ice, which isn't optimal. Every time you start over something you get paradox, you can skip straight to the good part. So... we like 1 to 2 minutes longer and Kieran finished almost at the same time. Did you win? More importantly, did you guys win yours? Nice. Fantastic. But yeah, that is the moment where I got one-shotted by a machinist. I could have done something about that, but I was pretty convinced that Marksman's Spite wouldn't be able to one-shot me. I was pretty sure about that. So I didn't. I was like, I don't need to guard this, but I did. I could have done something and I just didn't, because I was so certain that, well, I'm at full HP, I'll just heal up after. And then it did 55 to my 54. There you go. No, I know Marksman's Spite is really, really strong, but let's see. I think it's because I'm more used to somehow, like for some reason, being used to having the tanky damage reduction from all the ninja I've played. But yeah, in that case, I should definitely have guarded. Eagle Eye Shot is also longer range. That's also true, Eva, but the key is that I was at full HP and it was just Marksman's Spite. I saw the animation on me, which means that they were already in the animation for Marksman's Spite, so they were not going to also Eagle... Like, they might Eagle Eye Shot, but given that I was basically ready to heal, I was expecting that. But I didn't realize that it was going to one-shot me. I didn't expect that part. But I'm also, like, a lot of the time when I'm doing frontline, I'm usually playing either a tank or scholar, so I have barriers on me, so it's usually fine. But yeah, anyway, we managed to get through the dailies. All of the dailies, pretty much, except the ones that I don't want to do. And Mental Roulette. And we managed to get through the weekly re-clears of Cruiserweight, and I even managed to get something that I wanted on each fight. So that's fantastic. I got these. So we managed to get what we set out to do done with just Black Mage on my part. And I tried my best to get really saucy with all the transpose line tricks that I know whenever I had the option to. Which means that there were points in the normal raid re-clears where I did... there was at least one point, if not multiple, where I did pre-mana font extensions. And at low-level stuff, like in Crystal Tower, there was a point where I both demonstrated briefly an AF1 F3P at level 50. I also demonstrated the specific case where you get Firestarter as your penultimate Firecast into Flare, into Fire 3, into Transpose Swiftcast Blizzard 3, which is also a pretty optimized strategy. I think I did a bunch of stuff. So hopefully some of you might have found that entertaining. I had a lot of fun with Black Mage. Once again. But that also does mean that we got everything that we planned to do done. So if you enjoyed this particular stream, it helps me a lot if you leave a like on it here on YouTube. That tells the algorithm this was an enjoyable stream, and like other people to enjoy it as well. So thank you so much in advance. And if you'd like to be part of the Discord community server, there's a link in the chat right there. There you will find the weekly schedule where you can see what else is happening on the channel in the coming days. You'll also find the announcement room with links to videos and streams when I put them out. And if you grab the reminder roll in the role assignments room, you'll get a notification whenever I post a video or stream, as well as an extra one around 15 minutes before stream starts, so you can catch it right when we go live. And if you want to support the channel even more directly, you can become a member of the channel, you can gift memberships, you can use the super chat system, or if you don't like any of that, Ariel posted a Ko-Fi link in the chat right there, where you can also support me. This supports both the channel and me directly, so that I can focus on doing stuff like this with all of you, so thank you so much for the support. But that'll be it from me tonight, so good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye bye!